Hey, welcome back to the Business of Applications. In this course, we're studying some of the motives and some of the design that you would do if you are building an application. So we're in the first part of the course still. We're talking about the motivations for an app, but as you can see, there are other course items that are coming. So stick around, and if you want to see them all, make sure that you subscribe. My name is Shad Sluter, and I teach application development at Grand Canyon University. So let's get into this subject today. So we are trying to find a problem to solve. That's pretty much fundamental when it comes to designing an application. You have to ask yourself, what's the motives? Why are you doing it? And in this video, we're going to talk about some strategies that you can do to discover problems that people have and how you can solve them. Here's the principle of what we're trying to present here in just one sentence. That an idea that does not fulfill a need is really not a business opportunity. So you've got a great app, but nobody cares, you might as well not even build it. So here is an analogy that has been used in many different situations like this when you talk about coming up with a need for an app. So are you selling candy? Are you selling vitamins? Or are you selling painkillers? So let's talk about what that means, because we're obviously not selling any of these, but we're using them as an analogy. So Kevin Fong gets credit for this analogy here. So he's an entrepreneur from Silicon Valley, and this is his quote. So he says, "We divide business plans into three categories: candy, vitamins, and painkillers." So he dismisses candy as just junk. It's things that we just discard without much thought. We look at vitamins. We know that they're good for us, but don't really use them on a regular basis. And he says we really like painkillers. Now, when he says we, he's talking about the venture funding people. These are the angel investors. These are the people you need to talk to get money to make your business work. And if he says we really like painkillers, he says you must have a problem identified, and people are willing to pay you for it. And then he says we especially like addictive painkillers. And so painkillers are the products that you can't live without. So let's look at each of these categories individually. So a piece of candy is something that is perhaps what you would call a game app. Something that's cool, it's fun. It could be a fad and disappears quickly. And so that's the danger of a fun app. So I know it's fun. I'm wasting my time, but I like it. So have you ever played Trivia Crack? Yeah, I played it too. It came and went like within months. Maybe you're not the right age group to remember it, but it was certainly a piece of candy. It was fun. They probably made a lot of money, but it didn't stick around. How about this one, though? Clash of Clans? That certainly is candy. It's kind of eye candy. It's fun to play with. Just recently, I checked the stats on it, and they made $20 million last month in revenue. So even though candy can be a fad, if you sell really good candy, you're going to sell a lot of it. Here's the idea of vitamins, though. If you look at a feature or an app and you say this about it, you say, that's a really cool idea. I could probably use it. I mean, you can justify it and say it's nice and all, but you might forget about it. You say it's good, and then it doesn't stick around. So, for instance, I have the Amazon Echo, Alexa, in our house. They bought it for my birthday, and it's fun to play with, right? So I can say, Alexa, play some music. And then off in the distance,
classical station based on your listening history.
There she goes. She starts. Alexa, stop. Just a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so I consider Alexa to be fun. But, you know, if you took her away from me, I could probably still do life just fine. So she's convenient to yell at, to argue at, and to have you tell some jokes. But really, in my case, she's a vitamin. She's nice to have. Now, the painkillers, though, are a different situation. So when you say this, when you say, something's wrong, I need this now. Here's my credit card. And by the way, what did it cost? That means that you've got a product that suits a need so well that you're going to be covered with customers. People are going to come to you asking when they can sign up. And so sales are really easy, and it's probably an addictive app because if people really want to pay you that much, they're going to. So I looked at my computer and I thought, what are the apps that I must use. I can't live without. And pretty much anything that is made by Google seems to fit this category. So, for instance, could you live without a good search engine? Can you find your way around without maps? Can you find stores? Can you locate things? Can you send and receive email without thinking about Gmail? Really, those three are pretty successful. Now, Microsoft has Office, which has pretty much become the default standard for any kind of the utilities that I work with. I know there's free alternatives, but Office seems to just come back all the time. For instance, right now, you're looking at a PowerPoint presentation. I've certainly tried to get rid of PowerPoint, but I keep coming back to it. So the idea is that you want to have a solution that is addictive and people cannot live without. So that's really what a painkiller. So here's a nice quote that says, "Once we come to depend on a tool, nothing else will do." And so you've come up with a good painkiller solution for your app. If you can build this app, you're going to be rich. You're going to have many, many users. But you can see that sometimes apps fit into multiple categories. So let's talk about Facebook. Is Facebook to you a piece of candy? Is it a vitamin, kind of nice to have? Or is it a painkiller? So look at the first guy. Obviously on the top row, he's bored. And to him, Facebook is as good as playing a video game. So he might just pass the time. And then the second one is perhaps this mother here, who is probably more dependent on Facebook. She's talking to her friends, she's scheduling meetings, she's finding out what's going on. But look at the grandma down in the bottom. She is isolated. She's far away. She lives alone. To her, having Facebook or Zoom or any kind of social media, to her is a painkiller. It is something that she must have. And so I certainly, visiting friends that are like this, have discovered their dependence on it. They ask me for technical help to say, I gotta have my app. This is the only way I stay in touch with my friends. And so Facebook would like to be the painkiller for us all. For me, it kind of fits somewhere in the nice to have category. Honestly, I don't check it very often. So a single product can be different things to different people. And so don't just judge your product based on one person's opinion. So here is another way to find out if you're solving the problem. Think about higher needs rather than the immediate need of your program. What does that mean? So for instance, our higher needs are things like we have a desire for fulfillment, or you might say we have a desire for belonging. That's certainly a higher need. And these are strong needs. Need for recognition. I mean, look, I'm checking how many people are subscribed to my channel. What in the world is the need here? So YouTube is solving a need for me that I hate to admit, but I'm getting recognition through this tool. How about security? Security, financial security, security in your relationships, security of your home, physical security, security of your job, future. And so sometimes products can help us with needs that are just as basic as food and water. Now, here's a way to find out really what people's motives are. This is a technique that was used in the Toyota Motor Company, and probably still today. It's called the 5 whys. And the idea is that you ask a bunch of whys to find out really what's at the bottom of somebody's request. And so it requires literal digging into their mind and into their psyche. So you define the issue by asking the question, why, 5 times. You say, why is this happening? And they give you an answer. And then you say, why is that? And then you ask them again, why is that? And then finally, when you get to the maybe about the 4th or 5th level, there's really no specific number, but somewhere down there, you're going to find that there is a stronger reason than the one that was first given to you. So in the case of Toyota, they ask questions like, why did the production line stop? And then the answer is, well, we ran out of parts. And then they ask, well, why did we run out of parts? Well, the manager refused to order extra supplies. And you say, why is that? Well, he was trying to do lean manufacturing and he didn't want to spend the money on excess inventory. Well, why is that? Well, our stock price is getting hit because we have not used our money efficiently. And so you can see that there's reasons behind why the production line may have stopped. And so then they can address those bigger reasons if they can identify the whys behind it. Now, when we talk about a product, we do the same thing. So we would come up with different solutions depending on how the user responds. So let's say we want to build an application that produces recipes. Now, what kind of recipes do we want? Do we want ethnic recipes? Do we want home cooked? Do we want quick? Do we want diet? So all of those questions are going to be asked at the panel you might have of users in your interviews. And so let's ask this. So somebody does respond to you in a request for your information to say, hey, I'm building an app that's going to do recipes. And you say you need to make them or you need to use them. So why is that? And so the person says, well, I'd like to eat healthier. Well, don't just stop there. You say, why do you want to eat healthier? Well, I want to live longer. Okay, so why do you want to live longer? Well, that's pretty obvious. I want to see my grandchildren. Okay. So why is that important to you? Why do you want to see your grandchildren? Are they not annoying enough already when they're visiting you? And she says, family is important to me. So there is a value at the bottom of this thing about I want recipes. And really, what this person says is I want food to bring my family together. So that's a pretty powerful need, isn't it? And so if we're building an app to serve this person, we would have maybe a slogan, right? This on the left side, it says the right food brings family together. Now that sells to this person in particular. But we might ask the same question and get different results. So we might have to slant our advertising or the design of our app to this. The right food can make you pretty. So listen to this question. So this person says, I want new recipes. Okay, why is that? Well, I want to lose weight. Okay, why do you want to lose weight? I'm 30 pounds overweight. Okay, why are you overweight? I eat when I feel bad. I think I do anyway. And then, why is that? Because people laugh at me often. So these are obviously getting into some sensitive areas too. And so if we can provide something to help a person overcome their deep emotional problems, then we've got a painkiller app. So the right food can make you pretty. I don't know, maybe that's a lame way to advertise it, but if we can make a product that will help people lose weight, not just to get thin, but to be liked, then you've got yourself a painkiller app. How about this one? The right food can help you get ahead. So same recipe app, but we've got a different motive going on now. So this next interview, the person says to us, I want new recipes. And so we ask, why? Then they say, I only have 30 minutes to cook. Okay, why are you in such a hurry? I work full time. Okay, don't stop there. Ask again. Why do you work full time? Well, I want more money. Okay, obviously what you have isn't enough, so why do you need more? Because wealth is a status to me. And so the conclusion is time is money, right? So I want more time. I want my food preparation to take little time. I've got bigger things to do. I've got bigger fish to fry. And so we could advertise the convenience of these recipes as well. So now we've got these different types of opinions. And remember, the goal here of the video is to teach you how to identify the problem you're trying to solve. So if your solution is build an app for recipes, and you talk to a variety of people, you might find that your initial reason, or what you thought was the reason for the app, is not actually the reason of what your users say. So, I love my family, I feel ugly, I'm very busy. These are all reasons that are being input into your why you want to make your recipe app. So if you do some research and you talk to a bunch of people and you start to hear the same things over and over, then you start to make conclusions about who we're going to serve. Who's the first person on our list of things that we want? So most of the people that let's say we talk to are saying, I want to find healthy food. And so comfort and quick and easy were not the highest priorities. So the next steps for us would be to build an app, or at least to design the features about identifying the nutrition, about maybe the benefits for the food that you're eating, and how it can affect your health. So in this scenario that I just set out to you, you would obviously then fixate on healthy food and why that works. So if you'd like some more information about how to discover that niche where your app can suit a need that no one else is meeting, take a look at the next video about finding a niche. If you'd like to take a look at all of the videos in this course about building apps and the business of apps, then take a look at this playlist here. And make sure you subscribe and join me for class next time. Thank you.